Okay, here we go with the very last dream in the game, the Queen's Loneliness. 1,000 years can change everything, including the landscape. Queen Ming surveys her capital from the palace window. The panoramic view is like a great history book. The volcano towering in the distance, which used to spew clouds of smoke, went dormant 700 years ago. 300 years, 400 years, 500 years, whatever. Once part of the sea, the inlet was reclaimed 500 years ago to become a village of the fisher folk who spent their lives on the ocean. The river once arched gradually across the landscape, but the deluge that occurred 300 years ago became the occasion of major flood control construction in the form of a perfectly straight channel. Where the river used to curve, there is now an oxbow lake in which reeds grow in profusion, and the banks provide the people with a rich natural bounty. Even the areas that formerly was a barren rock stew wasteland became a vast fruit-bearing garden thanks to the irrigation project that was undertaken 200 years ago. The mountain that was the center of the people's religious faith was enveloped in the sky-scoring flames 100 years ago. Formerly swatted in a thick green covering and seen as the home of the gods. The towering peak was transformed into a bare rock pile by a forest fire that burned for 3 days and nights. Almost everything that lived in the forest, birds and beasts of course, and many people too, died in the flames. The people in the village below mourned the horrible transformation of their gods, but now, 100 years later, the mountain is as green as ever. The people of the village and the people of the mountain still tell the story of the fire, but today's children can hardly imagine that the rich green slopes were once charted and blackened. Restored, though, it is to its original green lushness, of course, the mountain could well be enveloped in flames again, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, or even tomorrow. Even if it should be charred bare again, however, trees would sprout anew, birds and beasts and insects chased away by the fire would return to their homes, and given enough time, the mountain would be covered in green as before. Such are the workings of nature. Given enough time, dizzying stretches of time. But no. To become dizzy at the thought of vast stretches of time is a privilege of an ordinary folk. Those who have no choice but to devote all their energies to living in the present. How fortunate they are to be able to look back to the past of 1,000 years ago like an old man telling a child a fairy tale. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a bunch of shit happened. Oh, man. Okay, continuing on. And how truly fortunate one would be able to tell the story of this country's future as a rosy dream, the way children relate their own dreams of the future with flashing eyes, and to entrust that dream to the next region, or whatever, next reign. Ming stands at the window like this every morning. It is special It is a special time for her when she thinks about the livelihood of her subjects, watches for signs of enemy intrusions, and ponders measures she might wish to adopt. She has done this every day without fail for the past 1,000 years. This country has flourished. The people no longer starve as they did when she first took the throne. Dang it. Stupid fading crap. Future historians will no doubt sing the praise of Ming's 1,000-year reign. She will be extolled as the 1,000-year-old queen, and her noble figure will be vividly engraved in people's memories. Cherishing these memories of her, however, people will die before she does. The historians who praise her too, instead of witnessing her reign to its end, will themselves become a part of history. Ming has been queen for the past 1,000 years, and probably will be for the next 1,000 years as well. Her Majesty is in excellent spirit again this morning, I trust. She hears the voice behind her. Her gaze still fixed on the streets on the city below. Ming answers, "You are early today." Not so early if Her Majesty herself is already observing the smoke rising from the cauldrons of her people. She need not turn to assertion the identity of the smiling face behind her. It belongs to Nagram, her senior minister. The smile is currently general, or genial, whatever. But deep within the narrowed eyes, she knows these resides a dark gleam. Today I will accompany Her Majesty in the inspection of the troops. Or inspection of the troops. Sorry. Misreading again. You? Yes. Owing to a slight change in assignments today. Is that so? I am hardly up to this task, but I will do my best if Her Majesty will allow me to serve her in this capacity. I beg her permission. With her back still turned to Nagram, Ming gives a silent nod. Ah, yes, she thinks to herself with a bitter smile. Their plan goes into action today. Their plan! Oh my god! There I go again, mixing words up. Ming has sensed for a long time that Nagram is up to no good. He apparently has seized command of certain units of the Royal Guard scattered throughout the city. His people are lying low, ready to set fires as soon as his orders come down. No doubt about it. Today, when the regular ceremonial inspection of the troops is scheduled to take place, is the perfect day for culp. When Nagram leaves, Ming enters her office and summons Haynes, the most senior of her ministers, a true elder statesman and her most trusted competent. Haynes, who sports a luxurious beard, he has served Ming for over 40 years. Your Majesty, I understand Nagram was here earlier. Yes, apparently he is to accompany me to the inspection of the troops. This is all he said. This is all she had to tell him. Dang it, I hit the button on my freaking headset again. So, excuse me a moment. And done. Stroking his bushy beard, Haynes says, "That means they've run out of patience. I know, replies Ming. I'm sure they can't wait to get started. What a fool Nagram is. He has absolutely no idea that your majesty has been letting him set his own trap. If he were smart enough to realize that, he would be taking at least 2 more years to make his preparations. Then he would have made more power at his disposal. He could link up not just with the Royal Guard, but also the main body of the army and the police force. He could conspire with external enemies and arrange for them to invade just as the ceremonies were getting underway. Then his coup would probably succeed if he had the long-range vision to include the wealthy merchants and the intellectual among his allies. He might even be able to mount a revolution that would overthrow the monarchy itself. That is what I would do if I were Nagram. As long as I was undertaking a coup, I would think about that as much at least. Jeez, why am I struggling so hard? I guess the reason could be I've been recording for about 3.5 hours now, so that could have an impact. Haynes' smile could not hide the fact that all of this talk of successful revolution was making him uncomfortable. Her Majesty is unmatched by any enemy except one, Her Majesty herself. He may be right, Ming thinks. If she may had an enemy with an eternal life like hers who was willing to devote all the time needed to planning a revolution, be a whole century or even 2, the result would surely go beyond revolution and develop into a full-scale civil war. Human lives, however, are limited in duration. And because of this limitation, humans rush to achieve results before they are ready. Nagram is one of those, and if he could live 200 years, to say nothing of 1,000, he would not be trying to take up arms at such an in-between point in time. Still, says Haynes, I have to admit that Nagram has extended his force far more successfully than I have ever imagined. What I have been doing all this time, I am utterly ashamed of myself. Don't let it bother you, Haynes. Thanks to your inattention, we will probably be able to smoke out many more rats. Ming gives a satisfied chuckle. Nor is the mere bravado on her... I don't know. Nor is this the mere... whatever the hell the word is on their part. They chose not to arrest Nagram at an early stage, but allowed him to swim free for a while in order to take this opportunity to net the entire force of rebels both inside and outside the palace. Yes, I know. Haynes replies and goes on to explain the plan for crushing the coup. His plans are inseparable. The coup has virtually no chance of succeeding. All they need to do is carry out a wholesale arrest on the rebel Royal Guard units that rise up in the palace and the Partons lurking in the city, and it will be some time before any more individuals with outsized ambitions show up again. This will be our first message in 50 years, Haynes remarks. Has it been that long? It certainly has, Your Majesty. It's fine. This fine beard of mine was jet black last time. And, yeah, I was wrong about the number of years. It's 15 years, not 50. What's wrong with me? I don't know. Haynes commanded the troops that put down the coup 15 years ago. Loyal, courageous, and cool-headed. He is the ideal staff officer. Without a doubt, he is one of the very best military advisors Ming has ever had in over 1,000 years on the throne. How selfish of me, Haynes. I should have let you retire years ago. This is out of the question, Your Majesty. Serving you is my life. I am deeply honored to have this final opportunity to be of service. True, not even the superb retainer could be with her. Truly, not even the superb retainer could be with her through all eternity. In another 5 years, 10 at the most, Haynes, like other royal retainers in the past, would be laid to rest in the sound of military cannons. It is always like this, just as the ambitious ones rush to make their mark because they cannot live forever. The loyal ones in whom she can place her complete confidence stake their very lives on serving her because they cannot live forever. They carve their names in a single line of history, and then they depart from Ming for the rest of eternity. Ming herself, though, goes on living. Eternal youth, immortality. So this is the dream of humanity, is it? None of them knows the loneliness of eternal life. With Haynes' next address, when Haynes next addresses Ming, there is a new urgency in his voice. About the troops that will quell the uprising, I will command the ones outside the palace. Do I have Her Majesty's permission to put command of the interior palace guards in the hands of my young protege, Yan? Ah, yes, Yan. He may be young, but he is extremely capable. Man, I'm really getting tired here. Again, been recording for over 3.5 hours. It does take an impact on somebody. I have nurtured him carefully. I know he will serve Her Majesty splendidly after this old soldier is gone. I would like to give him the opportunity to distinguish himself in the current emergency. Ming herself is fully aware of Yan's outstanding qualities. Young as he most certainly is, he far excels the other, whatever the hell the word is, in both the civil and military arts. He is undoubtedly the prime candidate to succeed Haynes as Ming's top general. What are Her Majesty's thoughts on the matter? Alright then, let him take charge. Her Majesty has my undoubted thanks. I'm sure Yan himself will be deeply moved to learn that he has earned Her Majesty's confidence. Haynes all but prostrates himself before her, an expression of relief on his face at having obtained Ming's permission. But still, he continues, Her Majesty has been wary of Nagram for a long time. True, she says. Meanwhile, the old soldier of yours have no idea whatever that Nagram might be planning a rebellion. I am deeply ashamed to confess it now, but to me he seemed the very model of loyalty. How is it that Her Majesty was able to see Nagram's actual disloyalty? Ming only smiles without answering his question. The same thing happened at the top of the cult 15 years ago. Haynes continued, the only reason that we were able to suppress the revolt before it even got started was that Her Majesty saw it coming before anyone else. Then as now I was blind to the traitor's plot. And if you say so, Haynes, Her Majesty, has Her Majesty forgotten? Well, it was so long ago. Ming tries to evade the issue. There is no way she could have forgotten the ringleader of the cult 15 years ago was her most trusted retainer. When she first broached the subject to Haynes, that the others, warning them to be on their guard against the man, all without exception insisted that he, above all, was beyond reproach. In the end, Ming's suspicion proves to be correct. She knew, however, faithfully. She carried out her orders, however. Warmingly, she swore his lord... However warmly, he swore his entire loyalty, she knew. These days, however, she has begun to wonder on occasion if there is something to be grateful for. The landscape is not the only thing that changes in 1,000 years. People's hearts also change. After numerous meetings and partings over the centuries, Ming has come to realize the fragility, the evanescence of trust. She no longer trusts anything in words, neither can she fully trust everything in action. She knows by looking at a person's eyes that way she can tell everything to a mysterious and disheartened degree. In the eyes of all those who would bring harm to this country, without exception, there resides a dark gleam. It is there that in all of them, the man plotting a coup, the man secretly involved with foreign enemies, the man fattening his purse with heavy taxes, worthing from the people, the female spy who seduces high ministers to extract state secrets, the man who accepts huge bribes from merchants eager for the glory of becoming an official, whatever the hell the word is, to the royal household. Neither their words nor their deeds give them away. Often the man himself had no idea of the mindsheds he will later commit. But Ming can tell. Only Ming, who has lived for 1,000 years. The silent voices tell her, be careful of this man. Don't take your eyes off that woman. This was not the case for her youth, but having repeatedly tasted the bitter experience of betrayal, having been assailed by her own regrets and self-reproach, she has learned to doubt. Ming can see what no one else can, the dark gleam deep in the eyes. This has enabled her to ward off a variety of disasters before they could start. The kingdom has managed to flourish because Ming has often chosen to doubt than to believe. This is the best course for her to follow as queen. It is, however, an infinite lonely way to live. Nagram's cult collapses in an instant. The rebel units of the royal guard who drew their swords against Ming during the inspection of the troops in the plaza become the prey of Yan and his men, who have been hiding around the perimeter. Meanwhile, the anti-rebel forces under Haynes' command pounces on Nagram's followers, who have been gathering to set fire to the city and arrest them without resistance. Poor Nagram groves on the earth begging for his life. To him Ming says only, I grant you the right to die with honor. A soldier lays a sword before Nagrin. Wordlessly, Ming conveys to Nagrin that it is time for him to take his own life. She turns to her heels and returns to the palace under armed escort. This will keep anyone from having thoughts of fomenting a rebellion, for a while at least. The peace of the kingdom has been preserved, but it will not last forever. When the memory of Nagram's cult begins to fade, 10 years from now, or 20, or even 100, another man with ambition will emerge, as has happened so many times before. It is the role of the queen to accept this endless repeating cycle. Ming tells herself, sighing. God, why am I having so much trouble? God, I am so hungry. I haven't eaten anything all day today, and it's almost 9 o'clock. Ming is standing at the palace window surveying the city streets below. When Yan enters the room, Your Majesty, I am here to report that Nagram successfully took his own life a short while ago. Oh, did he dispatch himself with dignity? He did. Traitor though he was, he died in a way benefiting a commanding general. Return his body to his family with all due ceremony. She turns and stares at Yan, whose spine stiffens under the onslaught of her gaze. And then she sees that, without a doubt, the dark gleam flashes deep within his eyes for one fleeting instant. So Yan is another one, is he? She thinks with a bitter smile. Unable to fathom the meaning of her smile, Yan is at a loss for words. Thank you for all your efforts, Ming says to him. Suppressing a sigh, she turns to the window again. The sky stretches overhead in an expanse of blue. The only thing unchanged for the past 1,000 years may be the blue of that sky. But still, I am queen, Ming tells herself, meditating on her role. I am the one who rules this country and maintains the people's happiness. So she gazes long and hard at the sky, rising to her full, proud height. Oh, look, it's Queen Ming! A little boy in the alleyway below in the castle spots Ming and begins waving at her wildly. Queen Ming! Queen Ming! A woman, the boy's mother no doubt, charges out a doorway and, bowing humbly to Ming, begins scolding the boy for his rude behavior. Ming herself, however, waves back at him, a placid smile on her face, smiling joyfully as this unexpected response from her Majesty the Queen. The boy starts jumping up and down, shouting, "Long live Queen Ming! Long live Queen Ming!" Ming stares again at the sky above. Unchanged though it has been for 1,000 years, the blue of the sky penetrates more deeply into her eyes and her heart than it ever did in the days of her youth. The end. And I believe that is it. So let's take another look just to be sure. Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's all the dreams in the game. All the dreams that I have unlocked thus far. Other dreams, when I encounter them, I will be reading them when I am hosting a Lost Odyssey stream. I don't know when I'll be doing this, but it will be in the near or distant future. I seriously have no idea what the future has in store. So, anyways, this is Drunk Goomba 1645. I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play of Lost Odyssey, and I hope you guys enjoyed the dreams of the way I presented them, despite a little bit of a shake-up in the beginning, but still, I hope you're all happy with the end result. So, anyways, this is Drunk Goomba 1645 once again signing off, and I will see you guys for future Let's Plays that I do in the near and distant future. So, live happily, just, accept everything for what life has to offer, and just, be proud of yourself and all of your accomplishments in life. So, yeah, I'll just pretty much end it on that note. So, see you guys next time for future projects.